I am quite perturbed. I'm quite angry today on my way home. Hey everyone, how's it going? So you're riding home with Kenny. So, 2 vehicles came in today from other shops. One vehicle I was making a video on because I didn't believe what was being told to me. They were at a shop directly across the street, and that shop across the street said you need a battery and an alternator for like $1,000 or whatever the amount was. It was a Lexus RX330. So then she shows me her phone. She's a young girl, college student, just moved to the area. Luckily, she called her dad and said, this is what's going on. And he says, take the car out of there. Something's going wrong. So I guess she had to jump start it this morning or whatever. So she shows me on her phone a picture that she took of their little handheld battery charging system tester. So I look at it closely and I could see where it shows that the battery was no good, but it showed 14 volts charging. Now, of course, she doesn't know what she's looking at. She has no idea. And why should she? Something like that. Why would you know this? So I'm glad she came in. So I said, all right. Then she left it with us, and she had one of her friends pick her up. Then the dad calls me, and he says, listen, when you find out what's wrong with that, let me know. So I told him what I saw in the picture, and he goes, I saw that too. That's what made me really question, because she sent me the picture, is what he said. Okay, so at least the dad, he has an idea of what's going on. So I checked it out, just needed a battery. The charging system was absolutely fine. I went through the charging system test before the battery, and I went through the charging system test after the battery. And I even told the dad, I'm going to road test this thing. I'm going to take it for a good road test, because maybe the alternator fails once it's getting hot. I don't know. And he agreed with me. He goes, he goes, I understand that. He goes, so yeah, take it for a ride and then let me know, how it is. So I did. I took it for a ride. I had all the loads on. I had the heated seats on. I had everything on. And it was still charging fine. So never needed an alternator. So how in the world they're going to sit there and say it needs an alternator is beyond me. Super happy. We put a battery in it. It needs a wheel bearing too, but they got to come back for that. She didn't have time for that. So hopefully they show up next week. They said they would. I think they were happy with our work. So hopefully they show up next week. Anyway, so the next car that comes in is a 2021 Nissan Sentra. And the girl's like in tears, just about. She's a foreigner, so she could speak English, but it was a little difficult to understand. She had a little difficulty understanding us. So she had taken it in to Nissan for an oil change. And from what I understood from what she said and what I read on the paper, when she got it back, all the lights on the dashboard were on. The check engine light, everything was on the dashboard. So she went back in and it's like, what's going on? All the lights are on the dashboard. Oh, that's right. Our technician noticed that a mouse had chewed through your wiring harness. And when he went to go check the air filter, that's when he realized it. So you're going to need the wiring harness replaced. What? Yeah, you're going to need the wiring harness replaced. Well, how much is that going to cost? $4,000. $4,000 to replace a wiring harness. So of course she freaks out. She's like, she doesn't know what to do. So I guess she contacted some friends in the area, and I guess they did a Google search and then found us. The car was drivable, so she drove it to us. Like I said, every light on the dashboard was on. So I start reading the paperwork that she gave me, because I said to her, I go, well, where is the wiring harness broken? I didn't know anything. She just said, they told me I had to replace the wiring harness. Okay, where's the wiring harness broken? She didn't know. Okay, and like I said, she said that she didn't have any lights on before going to the dealership. So I opened up the hood after reading the paperwork, and it said about the mass airflow sensor, and mouse had chewed through the harness. So I'm looking at it, and I could see the harness coming from the mass airflow sensor, and it's in that wrapped up tubing, that black tubing with electrical tape, and then it goes down to a main harness. And amazingly enough, the wires that are down there, basically you have that covered tubing with electrical tape. And then there's a section about this big where it's basically wires, no longer in the tubing, where it goes into like a main harness. Okay? The wires right there were cut. The wires were cut. They said that was from a mouse. Okay, well, it was very unevenly cut. Is it something that the dealership did? I don't know. I can't prove anything. But I'm willing to bet they probably did. I'm willing to bet they probably cut the harness. Because it was just too convenient of a spot. It's like, here's a spot where you can get to the harness to do a repair. So it's like, it's just too easy. Like, anytime I've ever seen a mouse chew through a harness, they don't decide, hey, okay, I'm not going to chew through the covered part here. I'm going to go chew through the wires over here. And usually when they chew through the wires, they chew through a section of wires, not like a clean cut. Like, they were clean, not like a mouse, ate through it, but more like somebody took a knife and went, and cut them. That's kind of what it looked like one at a time with the wires. So it's like, all right. So I spent some time with it. I told her, I said, I don't know how long is it going to take me. Figure, it's going to take 1 to 3 hours. I don't know. It just, it looks like it's easy to get to, but you never know. I may not have enough wiring to work with. I may have to open up the main harness. I don't know. So spent some time on it. I was able to fix it, and it's absolutely fine. But why on earth, even if it was a mouse, let's just say it was a mouse, the dealer did not do anything wrong. Why would you not do a repair? For what reason would you not do a repair? It was 3 wires. Come on. And $4,000? Get real. I mean, do you have mechanics at your dealership that are inept to the point where they can't fix a wiring harness? Really? Or were they going to fix the wiring harness and say they put in a wiring harness? Is that possible? I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell. But it's all the things that run through my head that I think about when I see stuff like this. And it aggravates me. It really, really, truly aggravates me. And like I said before, if you're honest, you'll have more work than you know what to do with. Truly. Even if you're an honest mechanic at a dealership, people will look for you at that dealership because people will know they can trust you. I know. Ask me how I know that. I worked at a dealer. People will search for you. So, I don't know. I don't get it. It just, my blood pressure's up. I'm probably ranting. I'm probably going off on a tangent. Probably going this way or that way. But that's the beauty of me. I do it all the time. All right, guys. Well, hopefully you got something out of that video. If you did, hit that like button. If you could, please subscribe. All right, have a great day. Keep wrenching.